I can't even be in here! Get out! Ah! How dare you!
Everyone, back up now!
My husband runs this city! You're finished!
The emergency room was already tense that evening. Phones rang, patients waited, and nurses rushed from one bed to another. But the tension shifted the moment a pregnant woman quietly stepped up to the front desk. She held her stomach gently, breathing slowly, trying to stay calm. "I'm having sharp pains," she said softly. "I think something's wrong." The nurse behind the counter barely looked up. "Take a seat. Fill out the forms. You'll be called." The woman nodded and began filling out the paperwork, but the pain hit again. This time it was stronger. She winced and held the desk for support. "Please," she said, "can someone check on me? I'm 8 months pregnant." The nurse rolled her eyes. "You're not the only patient here. Sit down and wait like everyone else." People in the waiting area glanced over. Some looked uncomfortable. Others pretended not to notice. Minutes passed and the woman's condition worsened. She approached the counter again, her voice shaking. "I feel dizzy. I really need help." The nurse snapped. "I told you to sit down. Stop causing a scene." "I'm not trying to cause a scene," the woman replied. "I just need a doctor." That's when the nurse stepped around the counter, her face red with irritation. "You think you can just walk in here and demand special treatment?" The woman stepped back, startled. "No, ma'am, I just..." Before she could finish, the nurse raised her hand and slapped her across the face. The sound echoed through the waiting room. Gasps filled the air. A man near the corner lifted his phone and started recording. Another nurse froze in place, shocked at what had just happened. The pregnant woman stood there, stunned, one hand on her cheek and the other on her stomach. Tears welled in her eyes, but she didn't yell or argue. At that exact moment, the sliding doors of the ER opened. A tall man in a dark suit walked in, scanning the room. His expression changed instantly when he saw his wife standing there, shaken and humiliated. He rushed to her side. "What happened?" She tried to stay calm. "It's okay. I just need to see a doctor." But the man had already turned toward the nurse. "Did you touch her?" The nurse crossed her arms. "She was being disruptive. I handled it." The room went silent. The man pulled out his phone and made a call. His voice was low, but every word carried weight. "I'm at City General. I need the hospital director here. Now." Within minutes, the atmosphere in the ER changed. Security guards appeared. A supervisor rushed in, looking nervous. Then the hospital director arrived, nearly out of breath. "Sir," the director said, recognizing the man instantly. "I didn't know you were coming tonight." The nurse's expression shifted. "Wait, who is he?" The director swallowed hard. "That's Mr. Carter." The nurse frowned. So, the director said quietly, "he's the man who oversees the city's hospital funding, and he sits on the board that decides which hospitals stay open." The nurse's face drained of color. Mr. Carter didn't raise his voice. He didn't shout or threaten. He simply pointed to his wife. "She came here for help. Instead, she was humiliated and assaulted." The director nodded quickly. "This is unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable." Within seconds, security escorted the nurse away from the front desk. The director apologized repeatedly, promising a full investigation. But Mr. Carter wasn't finished. He turned to the people in the waiting room. "Did anyone see what happened?" Several hands went up. One man stepped forward with his phone. "I recorded everything." The director looked even more nervous. Mr. Carter nodded. "Good, because this isn't just about my wife. No patient should ever be treated like that." He then turned back to the director. "By tomorrow morning, I want a complete report on staff conduct, training, and patient treatment. And if this hospital can't provide basic respect, we'll make sure the funding goes somewhere that can." The director swallowed. "Yes, sir. You have my word." Moments later, a team of doctors rushed in with a wheelchair for Mrs. Carter. They treated her with urgency and care, speaking gently and checking her vitals. As she was wheeled away, she squeezed her husband's hand. "You didn't have to do all that." He smiled softly. "I didn't do it because of who I am. I did it because it was right." Back in the waiting room, people whispered to each other. Some shook their heads at what they'd witnessed. Others looked relieved that someone had finally stood up. And as the ER doors closed behind the couple, one thing was clear to everyone who saw it. Respect isn't about power, titles, or money. It's about how you treat people when you think no one important is watching.